Welcome to Real Estate for Real session where we share actionable real estate information. We've been discussing the ABCs of home ownership. We've talked about A being the affordability part of it. We've talked about B being budgeting. And we started discussing the C of home ownership, which is the credits. We talked about what it is, what credit is. We gave you the definition of credits. We gave you what credit history and credit report means. And today we'll be talking about how to establish credit.
So as Ms. Lara said, in home ownership, credit is critical. How? Your credit helps the creditor know who they are dealing with financially, and as I'm sure from last week's session, he spoke about the credit being like your resume and helps your lender know how credit worthy you may be. Now, not having credit is not a reason not to get a mortgage. There are certain programs that are designed for people that are just credit averse and they don't need your traditional credit to give you a loan. The first thing to do to establish credit is to apply for credit. And in most environs, like in the US where we are, you need what's called a social security number, or in some peculiar cases, with the tax identification number, you can establish credit. So the first thing you need to do is establish credit, and you need a social security number or a tax ID to be able to associate the person to a number and to the debt.
Another thing is that you have to have proof of income, which is essentially your repayment source. Without any income, no lender is willing to take a chance on you.
Yeah, so if you go open credit, you can't say I'm unemployed, borrow me money, but that's a disaster waiting to happen. So when you go apply for credit, you want to buy a car, store credit, you want to buy furniture, they need to show that you have income. And for those that are retired, social security is income. Those that are on disability, a disability check is also income. So don't say because I'm retired, I'm on disability, I cannot get credit. No, any form of income that can be proven will be considered when giving credit. Now, there are some instances, if you have established credit, your income may not be necessary because the creditor knows that they have something to fall back to say, hey, this person last 5, 7, 10, 20 years, I'll pay their bills on time, and they will assume you have some source of income. But if you are trying to establish credit, you need to show a proof of income.
Another thing is that you have to obtain credit to purchase whatever associated item you need item or fund that you need. Now, so you want to go into a furniture store, you want to get a new furniture for your new home, you have to obtain credit.
Yeah, so we really encourage people to, because we have to get credit. Some people are credit averse, they're scared of getting credit. It's not about getting credit, it's about being responsible with credit. So some people might say, look, I'll open my first credit card, I'll pay it on time, I'll never be late, I won't hold heavy balances. If you are disciplined and know how to manage credit, you will build up over time. So learn to open credit, store credit, automobile credit. But the thing is, you want to pay them off as soon as possible and pay them on time. That's how you establish credit. Establish credit is an activity that goes on over a period of time. So if you say I don't want to open any kind of credit, I don't owe anybody, you are essentially limiting yourself as a consumer.
So now that you know your dates of repayment for your monthly payments, at least make the minimum payment on the due date, or better still, have an additional payment to offset the loan quicker.
Yeah, as Ms. Lara said last week, I know they talked about credit education. One critical aspect of credit education is knowing what your due date is. Well, I always have a client who had excellent credit, but what the person did was just spent her credit, maxed it out, and paid off whenever she could. For example, she had a $2,000 credit card. She'll max it out and pay it off in 2 months' time, or she pays the whole thing off. But essentially, she was hurting herself because she didn't learn, she didn't have the credit education. That due dates are a critical aspect. So you need to know when your date is due. And how do you work that? The way to work that is you can set up what's called automatic payment from your bank account, and that's great.
Another thing is that try not to maximize all you have on your credit card.
Okay.
Let's say you have a $1,000 credit card and you're spending everything, like you said, at least spend 29 to 30% of it, and so it doesn't make you look like you're irresponsible when it comes to spending.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
No. You say
Okay.
something.
Like, one great thing is that in credit education, which we're trying to do here, the earlier you pay off your debt, even if it's a revolving debt or is a scheduled debt,
Debt.
the less interest you pay. Interest is paid on the unpaid balance of the loan. So, for instance, if you have a $10,000 credit line you borrow from your bank, the earlier you pay it off, the less interest you pay. That means you potentially made yourself some money by being smart with your repayments.
Yes. Thank you very much. As always, we remain Triad One Realty. You can call us on 713-955-6171. You can check us out on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at Triad One Realty.
And our website is www.trad1realty.com. We're primarily a business that sells property and manages property, but our mission is to educate the consumer so they know what they are doing. Thank you very much. We look forward to you joining us next week.